Hi guys, so pardon my appearance. Been working around here, getting some housework done, so that's why I look rough. But anybody who knows me really well knows I'm a history buff, so just thought I'd share this with you. Odds are you have some of these in your pantry. I have the cheap kind because I'm broke and can't afford the Kellogg's brand. Um, But I love to watch the History Channel. I know lots of useless information um, that would never come in handy at any point unless like I had to be on the History Channel and comment on this kind of stuff. Um, but here goes. John Kellogg was a doctor who ran a around the turn of the century ran a kind of a retreat called the Sanitarium, called the Battle Creek Sanitarium. And in it he was kind of he was the it doctor, like anybody who went to go see him, and he had all kinds of weird treatments, including yogurt enemas. Yes, you heard that right. Um, and one thing he would do was people were coming to see him. They needed food that was easy to digest, and he came up with some kind of concoction using corn, which is similar to cereal. And his brother found out that people liked it if you put sugar and milk on it. And of course, Dr. John Kellogg did not like that because he wanted it to be nutritious and didn't like sugar and all that kind of stuff. But his brother, Will, who John Kellogg did not respect in the slightest, he thought he was stupid, which he really wasn't. He was actually very intelligent and quite the entrepreneur, as he would find out later. But he worked in the kitchen, and I was actually the one who made the cereals and things. And one night they left one of the, okay, I call it cereal. I think it was some kind of cake or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it would actually worked back then. But one night they left it out, and it became dried and crusty, and similar to what we know as cornflakes. And Will Kellogg thought, well, that's interesting. So he came to his brother John Kellogg and said, hey, we should start selling this and start making some money off of it. And of course, John Kellogg didn't want to have anything to do with it because he thought it was, because back then a doctor who took money for any of his things was it was disgraced back then. Not like today, they take money for anything, all these deals coming in, it's a big to do now, but back then it was a disgrace. So he didn't want to have anything to do with it. It wasn't until C.W. Post, as in Post Cereal, came to stay at the Sanitarium for a while, and he liked the food there, and he actually went through and stole the recipes for their cereal. And then he was a big entrepreneur himself, and he went out and created Post Cereal and created grape nuts. I've never had them. I don't even know if they still make them or not, but they don't have grapes in them. They're just, I'm not quite sure what they are. But yeah, that was the very first commercially successful breakfast cereal. And so Will Kellogg came to his brother and said, hey, he's making a bunch of money off of our stuff. And John still didn't want to have anything to do with it. It wasn't until years later that the sanitarium burnt down that Will finally came to his brother and said, hey, I went to a bunch of investors and I've got some money, and I'll give you this money to buy the rights to the recipe off of you. And John's still not thinking his brother was worth it. He said, where'd you get this money? He said, you're gonna fall on your butt and you're gonna come crawling back to me. And anyways, but he bought the rights to the recipe off of him, and he started Kellogg cereal, and he started making cornflakes. And of course now we know Kellogg's does everything from the cornflakes to Pop-Tarts to I think they even have fruit snacks, everything. So Kellogg's ended up being pretty successful, and there was even a while there when John Kellogg tried to make his own cereal because it was his recipe, but Will Kellogg turned around and sued him because, well, he sold the rights to him, and the courts ended up the courts ended up holding him to that, saying, "Yeah, you sold the rights to him for the cereal, so you can't make it anymore." He even lost his name. He couldn't even do the Kellogg. So he was this really famous rich doctor, and didn't think his brother would amount to a hill of beans because he was falling under his shadow, and here he was. Everything turned around. So there you go. There's the history of Kellogg's, and don't let people think that you're walking in their shadow. It might just turn around one day when they're the ones who are trying to cash in on something that you come up with. So, which of course John's the one that come up with it. But anyways, so don't let people call you stupid because you might have good ideas. Just they don't think like you do, I guess. Yeah, that works. Yeah, don't let people call you stupid because we all think differently, and something that might seem brilliant to you might seem stupid to somebody else. But yeah, don't let them talk you out of your good idea because it seems stupid to them. So that's the history of Kellogg cereal. There's your useless information for today. Now go eat you some cornflakes. Bye.